All right, so hopefully this is a good enough angle. I don't know if my room looks like a mess. I'm sorry if it does. I don't think it does. But I'm weirdly paranoid. Please ignore Ryan in the background. But if you're watching this video, that means you want to work on your upper body mobility, aka maybe you got a tight back, maybe you got tight shoulders, something is weird going on up there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna introduce some moves to you that hopefully will help you address any limited range of motion issues or any restrictions that you need to work through. Because obviously that shit's important, and yes.
All right, so going right into it, the first move is going to be hanging scap retractions or scap pulls, depending on what you've heard before. They go by different names, you know. But basically what we're doing is we're mimicking a pull-up by just starting the initiation phase. We're just trying to get that scapular retraction, that motion happening. And by doing so, we're actually strengthening the muscles that basically start the pull-up, right? For some people, the overhand grip instead of the neutral grip is a little bit harder. So I'd say when it comes down to it, like the grip, do whatever feels best for you. Make sure it's the one that you feel most comfortable with and that you feel the most activation from. Because if you're struggling with your hand grip, sometimes that overhand, it's a lot harder to maintain, and then all of a sudden within like 10 seconds you're done. So you have the option of going for a neutral grip here if preferred. All right, so our next move is Inchworms, and I honestly love this move so much, especially for an upper body warm-up move, just because you feel it in your hamstrings, you feel it in your core, but you especially feel it within your shoulders and just upper body in general. So if you want to get extra hard on yourself, give yourself a little bit of a challenge. What you can do is actually throw in a push-up, and that way you're actually practicing that skill set as well, and then obviously activating the chest a little bit more by adding that push-up. If you need a straight up recommendation, I'd say 8 to 10 reps, maybe 1 to 2 sets. That is perfectly fine and adequate enough for you to be warmed up, not overexerted, because the goal is to just activate certain muscles, get them ready for your compounds and other accessory movements. You're not trying to overexert the body. So when it comes to your warm up, you don't want to have it be so excessive that you're warming up for like 30 minutes before you actually start the workout. No, you want to make sure that you're just doing it for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes tops, I'd say. But that's why with these moves, you don't want to go over with them. You don't want to be doing this for like 3 to 5 sets for like 15 reps. You just want to do enough to where you feel nice and warmed up and ready to go for your next moves. But yeah, inchworms are also awesome for practicing core stability. On to the next move. We got single arm cable pull downs, baby, and also banded straight arm pull downs. I have provided both just in case, it depends on the equipment you have that day. So this one obviously is the cable assisted machine one. You're going to want to do it for maybe about 30 seconds to a minute tops. For this one, you do not need to get too excessive with it, because basically all you're trying to do is really just test your full range of motion within your rotator cuff, and then also wake up the back a little bit, right? You're not trying to go over with the reps or the weight, because then if you do that, everything is going to feel very tight and already fatigued. And then when you're doing your, let's say, bench press, it's going to feel like shit and you will be sad. So please do not overexert yourself with these warm-up moves. But yeah, here we have the banded version. And I will say for this one, same time, honestly, you do not need to switch up the time. But what I would say is that you should go for a lighter band. I was doing this with the purple band, which I think, if I'm correct, that means the resistance was, I think, up to 50 pounds, possibly. But maybe 25 pounds, I don't know. But the one you want to go for is typically the red band, which is, I think, up to 10 to 15 pounds or resistance. It's just because that one you can actually move a lot better through the band and actually control it better. The higher the band and the thicker the band, the harder that band will be to stretch out. So if you go for a thicker band, it's gonna be hell. Absolute chaos trying to pull that thing down. But if you go for the thinner one, you'll be able to actually better control the move and hopefully work through your full range of motion without feeling like it's a complete struggle. All right, so this next move coming up is going to be the wall angels. And wall angels are honestly, they look like you're making a snow angel against a wall. It's very weird, setup. But I would recommend that you do this move for 30 seconds to a minute tops. This move is honestly perfect for anyone who is trying to test their shoulder mobility, or if they have like let's say tight upper back. If you have a tight upper back, this is something that you might want to test out and actually attempt yourself, because this move is honestly perfect for really forcing yourself to retract the scapulas and then work through this full range of motion up here, right? So if you're doing this and you can't even like go all the way up, that's a sign to us that maybe you have some limitations in that upper back. The best thing you want to do is just practice this a few times within the warm-up, just like until you feel nice and warmed up, and then keep practicing it consistently so you can get that range of motion back. All right, our second to last move is the banded pull-aparts. For this one, you want to perform it for 30 seconds to a minute tops. Honestly, it's however long you want to do it though. Like if you want to go for longer, do not feel obligated to just listen to these times. Like sometimes if you're in the middle of a movement and you just know, like, damn, I feel good with this movement, you should be able to do that for longer. And then hopefully you feel more benefits rather than just listening to these time frames. These are just, I would say, recommendations for like a basic guideline. But I want to show why banded pull aparts are a great move. So I wanted to show you guys this model that I got from this app. So if you have a tight upper back, I would say please practice this move within your warm-up, because it hits the trapezius. It also hits your rear delt. So think a shoulder muscle, but in the back. It also hits deeper muscles such as I think it's infraspinatus off the top of my head, but also the teres major and minor as well. Just slight activation though. Those ones are, I would say, a little less than the other ones I'm talking about. But the last major one is the rhomboids. And if you think about it, if you have a very tight upper back, these muscles could be the reason for feeling this way. So banded pull aparts, honestly, a great move to start including in your warm up. And I would say recommendation, maybe 1 to 2 sets, 10 to 15 reps. But again, as long as you want to do them, And our very last move, probably one of my favorite moves for back mobility. Fun story about this one. I actually learned it in college when I was taking my resistance training class. It was the second time I was taking this class because I loved the fact that I got credit to lift weights. Oh, chef's kiss. I loved it with all my heart. But the second time around, I had this man who was not like a frat boy, but he was like a very nice college dude vibe. Like I would say skater boy. He very much gave skater boy vibes. But this man, he had us do this move in our warm-ups. And I remember, oh my gosh, my lower back would always feel so much more ready for movement, like less stiff basically is what I'm saying. Obviously lower back, you don't want it too flexible because your spine should not be the most flexible thing in the world. You want it to be hopefully stable in your lifts. But when it came to having like a stiff lower back, that lower back pain, when I added this move into my warm-ups, I felt so much better. So the move we're talking about is scorpions. And basically this move is opening up the hip, opening up the lower back by just twisting throughout that spine and at the hip. So as you can see, I'm trying to point my foot away from the body, twist that hip outwards away from me, and just really make sure to work through that rotational movement, if you will. If you do this enough, you will be sure to hopefully address any tightness or stiffness you see, especially in the morning. I would say if you could do this in the morning, a lot of people would benefit from this move simply by just trying to twist through any tightness there that you might see within your spinal extensors, that you might see within just like having fucking like stuff back with our posture, So definitely one to consider throwing into your warm-up. But yes, kiddos, that is all for today. I want to thank you for watching this video if you watched it all the way through. And, as always, your guys' support is appreciated so very much. So I look forward to seeing you guys next time, and bye-bye for now.